For this Burger King project, I was tasked with getting this plate where the guy is using flamethrowers and making it into a summer scene. So my company has a freelance AI artist who provided me with some plates, which is not bad considering these cows are a bit small, but at the end they wanted it even smaller. And the guy gave me some lighting passes which were of no use whatsoever because I needed to relight everything interactively because there was already some lighting effects going on here. For the purpose of demonstration, I used the Genius Automat in Flame, which I will show immediately here. The fastest way to get to it is just adding a surface and then in the Gmask tracer and then adding a selective and then going to the ML tab and saying give me an automat, which gives you an automat. But turning on region of interest and limiting this area to where I want him to be gives me a very sharp, very usable mat. And from then on, this is just him and some flames which I don't want to use. I just added up this garbage mask with 2 points tracking the nozzle of the flamethrowers, and that was it. And then comes the compositing task, which was basically this one, and I integrated the guy here, so not bad at all. But like I said, the client during the presentation wanted the cows to be smaller, so again comes the help of Automat. I finally used the clean plate the AI artist provided me, and using the cow plates with the Automat generated, scaling it down and pulling it a ways to the left solved my scale issue there. To get the interaction working good, I utilized another small nifty bit of machine learning apart from the Automat, which was to create the lighting passes on the cows because they needed to interact with the lighting from the flamethrowers. I had this set up where these cows are matted, and I am using a depth map generated by Depth Anything version 2, scaling it down with the exposure node. I think this is going to be fixed in 2027. And then again, using it with the map I generated, I used the displacement map in a camera displace mode, so that because if you make a normal displace, it just takes the camera field of view and the camera settings into consideration. But if you do a camera displace, they are displayed towards the camera, and since we have a light on them, everything looks okay. So I added a general light source, then I used the flames themselves, rescaled, blurred, and created a lighting pass basically, and then I multiplied it with the pass from the depth generation and adding it onto the cows. That gave me the light interaction that I needed, and here is the finished shot. You can probably see the lighting effect on the cows. And for the ground, I use the mat from the generated I used the math that I generated using a difference with the first frame and the lighting frames. That's that. For the next sequence, I want to show this little nifty bit. We had some nasty lens flares here, right? So I need to get rid of them, and I need to, of course, stabilize them, but I couldn't get them to be tracked properly. So what I did was I tracked this lens, okay, because that lens is always in the frame. But clever bit comes here. So I tracked this lens, and then I had another axis which is in the middle of the frame, but I linked another third axis to be right in the middle of these two, right? So my expression for this one was axis 1 position plus axis 2 position divided by 2, which gave me a midway point between these two. So by animating the center axis, the second axis, I managed to animate it so I had a nice track on top of the lens flares. Let me know if this doesn't make sense, but this works in the same way that a normal lens flare, secondary lens flare math works. And then what I did here is I stabilized it. Because this is an expression, I duplicated that, and then I baked the expression, then I copied this to a 2D transform, which stabilized the lens flares smack in the middle of the screen, and I used paint and inverse the stabilization. I did of course I used the frequency separation, so I did the paint job on the high frequencies and then combined them all here. So from there to there, no one even saw it. I just did it for my own sake. And the third thing that I want to show you is just a very simple thing. So I wanted to make the flames much more prominent in the final image. And during the session or during the preparation, I found that I needed to mask wherever the flames are, but I didn't want to go frame by frame trying to figure out where the flames would be. So what I did was I hung up a recursive operations node at the end of it, and I just pressed play, which gave me the exact the full range of where the flames move. So you got this, started from the beginning. So starting from the first frame, I let it run through, then I just froze that frame and then created a so you get the idea. Now I know where the flames are in the entire clip, and then I just created a mask around that area. And that's how I did the masks for this shot. And that's all. Bye.